Let's talk about the sponsor message. If you are lacking clarity on your goals, you want to break through, you want 21 days of one-on-one accountability, and you just want like no holds barred, you want to achieve huge success, that's the 21-day challenge. Message me and I can let you know more about it. Chris at beyourgps.com or find me on Facebook. Would love to talk to you. Next up is the iTunes review of the week. And who's it by this week? It is by, pulling out my camera. It's by Miss Latran. And Miss Latran says, great info, great energy. Thanks, Chris, for sharing vital info on how to improve your mindset and bring your A game out. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Becoming your greatest possible self. Go to beyourgps.com/iTunes if you want to give us a review, or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store and you can find us like that. Thanks so much in advance for doing that and for supporting us and letting us know what you want to see more of. Now, we are going to read the introduction of Rich. Before I bring him on, though, just want to let you know I met him at an Abraham Hicks after party. He just brought so much joy, so much love in everything that he did. It was awesome. It was absolutely incredible. So it's going to be a lot of fun, definitely interviewing him today. It was a lot of fun last week, and we are going to bring the heat. So let me pull up this introduction, and then we will rock it. So, Rich Kiamco is an award-winning comedian and motivational speaker based in New York City. He's appeared on The Howard Stern Show, opened for Louie Anderson in Las Vegas, in BuzzFeed's Follow This on Netflix, is an OpEd contributor for USA Today, and was pictured on the cover of NYTimes SundayStyle Section as a member of the Mankind Project. His podcast, We There Yet? #WTYPod is available on iTunes, www.richkiamco.com. And we're blessed to have him here with us today. Rich, are you ready to rock it again, brother?
I'm here. I'm always here. I am eternally here. I love you. It's so great to be back.
The eternal beingness and presence of your soul and infinite connectedness. I love it, man.
Yeah, it's great. No, it's great. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming back on, back-to-back weeks, making it happen. Really, really appreciate it. So we're going to dive right into the theme of the day, which is wonder and possibility. And Rich, what does this theme mean for you? Wonder and possibility, how does that impact and show up in your life?
Well, wonder and possibility for me is about considering things that are beyond what I understand or know. Because wonder and possibility, I wasn't raised with that. I was raised with, my parents came from the Philippines. They're from, during World War II, they're survivors of the war and came from complete poverty. And they always told me, anything is possible through God. Just pray. You can be anything. GP, OBGYN, eye, ear, nose, and throat. Like everything was specifically, like anything is possible in medical school. Like that was like the possibility. Now, there's nothing wrong, and that's completely valid. But they had such a narrow scope of what possibilities were, because they came from such poverty and they became successful that they just thought, well, we have to. This is like a typical Filipino immigrant work ethic. Like, we will raise our children. We will be very strict. We will beat them if they deviate in any way. No daydreaming, no fantasy. All you dream about is how well you're going to do in medical school. That's it. And I love them. It's what they had. My parents had coal. They had emotional coal. And it was good. It got them from point A to point B. It got them out of total poverty to financial success. Yeah. They still lived in fear, and they taught me to live in fear. And I used it. It got me to where I got, until I decided I could think in larger wonder and possibility and outside of the box of what they knew.
Yeah, and what I hear, Rich, is that they were more so like the survival-based possibility and wonder. Like in fear, it was based out of survival and fear.
Right.
And, like I don't know if I'm going to have enough money. I don't know if I'm going to survive. I don't know if I'm going to stay off the streets. And so they use the vision of don't screw up to keep you laser focused on what they wanted you to do, which was something around the lines of being a doctor.
Right. And, it's a great formula to create a doctor. Everyone else in my family, I have all these cousins, like he's a great tennis player, but neurosurgeon. Everyone's really, and it's great. It's I don't have any. I mean, I joke about it, and as a comedian, I rip it apart because it's part of my job. But I get it, and there's truth to any of those systems work. It's just what are the byproducts, and the byproduct is fear, self-loathing, never going to be enough. And when I get there and achieve all these things, will I actually enjoy them? No, you can't enjoy them. You know, I wasn't taught. I mean, I was like spelling bee champ and math team champ. I had a fan, a club of one when I was in 6th grade. And she made like a banner and buttons. Like I had won the spelling bee, and she made this huge banner. My mom picked me up at school and she saw the banner, and it was like she was ashamed. She took it and she rolled it up and put it away. She's like, don't put that out. People will think you're a braggart. You will have a big head. You will become lazy and you will die. Because it's like, I'll get lazy and I'll just rest on my laurels, and then I'll fail because any kind of enjoyment along the way was dangerous. Because, you know, the Japanese soldiers might come and burn the village. You can't be hanging out, enjoying yourself. Because my parents literally were hiding in caves. They would leave the village, run into the mountains, hide in the caves, and like disappear for periods of time so that they would be safe physically. So they're carrying this like, you know, it's a serious PTSD survivor mentality. So I carried that with me through, you know, I had tainted wonder and possibility. Like, okay, I wonder if this could all fit into this box. I wonder if I can do all these things and still, you know, like, is this what my mom even gave me like this article when I wanted to be a designer. I was a young kid. I was designing all these clothes. She's like, look, Richard, this doctor is a successful plastic surgeon and he makes suede jackets in his free time. You know? I'm like, no, I want to be a designer. I don't want to be a surgeon, you know? And I was always challenging my parents' limitations with my own wonder and possibilities. And I was a young gay kid that didn't know it was going to be okay to be gay. I mean, when I grew up, there wasn't even a word for it. Right. So I had so many levels of wonderment and possibility that I was like, are these things, am I different? Can I feel attracted to the repairman? Is that okay? Like, I had all sorts of levels of permission, right? Yeah. That I didn't know. I mean, I was just getting beat up from the kids on the block because I didn't play sports. I made bouquets for all the neighbors. You know? I was definitely the gay kid on the street and sewing outfits and making bouquets.
I love it. This is great insight into your past. I know we're going to dive into that more. And for people who are just finding out about you, you're doing men's work, you're a comedian, you're a writer, you're an actor, you're a speaker. Like, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing in the world today. You do a lot of different things.
Yeah, today I'm a stand-up comedian, and I also I speak on the college circuit. I'll be speaking in Orlando at this big national conference, and you know, I also work with Mankind Project, which is a large international men's organization that helps men live better lives and live through accountability, integrity, and healthy masculinity, mature masculinity. Yeah. I had an article in the New York. I was a cover story of New York Times with Mankind Project, and I also had 2 op-eds in USA Today about toxic masculinity and Kevin Hart as a comedian and me as a comedian about my opinion on his homophobic comments. And, really, it's interesting the way all these different aspects of who I am have come into play on a larger scale, just because I'm showing up to do the inside job. Like, the work I do in Mankind Project is not something I do on stage. It's something I do in a little group each week. Or even when I go on the road, I meet there's other groups, Mankind Project, in every city that I can meet with and go, okay, here's the work I'm looking at. Here are the limiting beliefs I have, or here's the story I'm carrying that's limiting my ability to have wonderment and possibility. Because the universe is filled with infinite possibilities. I am filled with infinite possibilities. But the distance between infinity and where I am is a conversation I'm having in my head.
Say more about that. Expand on that.
Even while I came to New York, I came out when I was young and I said, not only am I gay, I'm not going to medical school. And I really fought against my parents' sort of agenda. And, it's one thing to be identified as fighting against it. Like, what is it I wanted to create? When I came to New York, I went to school to be a fashion designer. I ended up becoming the fashion designer for a celebrity comedian. And I ended up also exploring stand-up comedy on my own at school. And I discovered this was like another superpower. And I was like, oh my God, I came out of the closet. I fought so I could go become a designer. And I come here and suddenly I'm like, I have this other superpower of comedy. Like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to tell my parents? It's bad enough I didn't go to medical school. And now I'm going to fashion design. And now I'm going to be a comedian? Are you kidding me? Just like, why don't you just stab my parents in the heart? Like, it's just like everything they're afraid of. This is such a, appears to be such a volatile, risky, there's not like an internship. You don't just do like 8 years of comedy doctorate or something, and then you just, you intern under some sort of comedy mentor, and then you just work at a comedy corporation, right? And just get a 401k and half-day Fridays, and then you get, a rubber chicken every 3 weeks. This is not how it works. It's a very, you're definitely a road warrior, and you're out here generating, it's very entrepreneurial. You're generating your own sales. I mean, I have speaking engagements, I have comedy engagements, I have some real estate, I do multiple streams of income to create and generate what it is. I mean, I'm really grateful. I mean, at one point I was working as a showgirl, right? Of course, right? Everyone does that at some point. Didn't you, Chris, work as a showgirl?
Yeah.
Everyone does that. People go to Japan to teach English for a year. Other people go to Las Vegas and be a showgirl for a year. That's what you do, right? So I was a showgirl for a while with Judy Tenuta, who's this great comedian. I was like her costume designer and her backup dancer. And we did shows in Las Vegas and around the country. And I remember my parents they didn't understand. I couldn't even show them half of what I was doing. And I was just like, there's no way. I'd be home like for Thanksgiving making some costume for some show in Chicago. My dad would be like, oh, that's going to look beautiful on Judy. I'm like, oh, it's going to look beautiful on me, Dad. But I couldn't tell him that. You just don't kill your dad's dream. Just let him live in a little bit of story, a little bit of fantasy. I just didn't have the heart to say it to his face. But I remember my parents saying, Richard, you cannot just run around like this, showgirl. You have to get a job and you have to wear pants. And, I did go to the fashion industry in New York, and I applied for like a regular full-time design job. And like I showed up in a suit with slacks, and I showed up in like Armani and Versace and Prada. And the boss that I'd hired, that's asked me to come work for her, this is like the new DKNY line. And she saw me. She couldn't stop laughing. She's like, I can't bring you into the head director. We have to go into the storage room while I laugh my head off because I've never seen you with so much clothing on in my life. You will definitely get the job. You're qualified, but I can't bring you in until I stop laughing. I don't even recognize you. You're like wearing Armani burqa or something. I'm so covered. But I did it, and I got, I did like they did in the old days. You had to like get a job, work for 2 years, show you have a steady income, and then the bank will approve your loan. So I did it, bought some property in the city, and that thing exploded. It's become like the meatpacking district. It's the fantasy. Not even fantasy. It's the reality of me showing up at the right place at the right time, investing properly, and it just like kapow. And now I'm like a landlord who can live whatever he wants to live, work as a comedian, and really go out and be of service because I've created this whole system to support myself. I mean, it's funny. If you told the 14-year-old kid who is being, all these hate crimes and people throwing eggs at my house and calling me, F word and all sorts of horrible things, because I was out when I was 14. I did a talk show and everything in Chicago. So it was like notoriously like the most, I don't wish this life on anybody in terms of having to go through high school, people screaming all day long at you and protesting, not even wanting you to drink out of the water fountain. But if you told that kid that I was at 14, that I'd be living this, I'd be a showgirl, and then I'd be out in New York, and I'd be Atlanta, and I'd be a comedian, I'd be a speaker, and doing all these things, and talking to people about what I went through, and getting paid to do it, and enjoying doing it, and finding pleasure in it. And, to the story my parents told me of hard work, suffering is how you make it. And now I'm out living this life of thrive, relax, share your truth, open your heart, feel vulnerable, cry, laugh. Like these are like nutrients I didn't know existed. These are like fruits and vegetables that are colors that I never saw or tasted growing up. And now I'm living this, and I'm so grateful. Like I met you at the Abraham Hicks after party. This is Abraham Hicks after party. Yeah, that room, I'd never been in. Like, that place was like levitating on the edge of a cliff. Like I didn't even know that this kind of a party existed, right? And I'm there going, wow. And I met your super beautiful girlfriend. I'm like, am I still gay? What happened? What's going on? Like everyone is so beautiful right now. And it just, because everyone's so happy. Like there's so much joy. It is not about gender or status, or it's just like, wow, I feel alive. Everyone here is like living in this joy. And that is so powerful. Like I'm changed. I left that party going, I don't know if I need to sleep for the rest of my life. I am so like buzzed. I had kombucha and some vegan cookies and some vegetables. There was like fruit. I mean, stuff people were probably growing outside the house. Like it was so healthy, right? It was like everyone was just like smiling. I'm like, is everyone here okay? Like, did I just go into an alternate universe? Like where winter parties like this happen. This was great. It was great.
I love it. So, what would you say is the recipe to get to that kind of happiness and self-expression and freedom? Like, where would you recommend people really start to get a hold of their mindset, their blocks, their paradigm? What's stopping them?
Well, I think like one thing that I do, which is like water, vegetables, and whole foods, is meditation, daily meditation, every day, no matter what. Just sit. I don't care what method you use, whether you use a mantra or not, whether you sit and listen to, ocean or raindrops or birds or silence. I just make sure I do that first thing every morning. I don't care what's going on, just 15 minutes, really ground and connect. Because even if I just step into that zone for like a minute, it's like something that connects me to myself, whether you want to call it the universe or God or something. There's an energy or an intelligence that we're all connected to. I mean, our body is regenerating its cells. Our body is doing all these amazing things that no app can do. Yeah. And yet, I don't know how many people actually take time to connect to that. I'm so busy looking online, trying to get likes. I want to go viral. And yet, could I go viral with my own intelligence, my own body, my own body's wisdom? Like, it's there. It's right there. If I just click like, if I could click like on myself, I could go viral with myself every morning. I have slow danced with myself. I have done that. Really developing a self-love. And it's not, I could say that's on your show. This is about living your greatest life.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't necessarily tell it to a bunch of guys at a sports bar. They punched me out like, what are you talking about, dude? They're not going to understand. I believe that our world is a little bit more open than that. But I do have a story in my head. Like, I wouldn't walk around, in the middle of the Super Bowl at halftime. Okay, everyone, take a moment, tap your heart, love yourself. Like, that doesn't come out of my mind. But there are people that are open to that conversation. Yeah. And all I'm saying is just be open. Open to do it differently. If your life is spectacular right now, then keep doing what you're doing. If you want more, you want to expand, then consider the possibility of other ways to shift your awareness. Because it's like a rocket ship. When you're going through space, every tiny shift changes the trajectory. Every little choice. And it's like, and it's not some huge dramatic thing. Like, just being able to be gentle and be present shifts my day. There's plenty of, I'm in my men's group, Mankind Project here. You do like a retreat for 48 hours. You sit with yourself with a bunch of other people. There's no phones. There's no like technology. There's no distractions. There's no drugs. No cell phone. Well, drugs, cell phone, same thing. It's always like sort of way to tune out, right? Just be present and look at the choices I've made in my life and where am I? Where do I want to be? And being really like the thing I've learned that in my recovery programs, 12-step programs, is like really being gentle and clear and honest about where I am in my life. Because it's like, if I look at my numbers, I was in debt years ago, like crazy debt. And I just thought, how am I going to get out of here? And a friend of mine was like, hey, check out this program, Debtors Anonymous. Just stop using credit cards a day at a time. Live within your means, but your means don't define you. Keep records of your numbers and be gentle. Just be gentle. And I heard someone say be gentle. I'm like, that's for lazy white people. I'm brown. I know how to do this. And it's not about being gentle. I learned that being harsh is the way, and it's not. But I believed. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to prove all these people that are being gentle with themselves that they're wrong. But I won't use credit cards. I'll just do it a day at a time. That was like 2004. I've paid off all my debt. Wow. I have savings. I have a view. I've got 21 courses. If you told me that I could thrive and not use a credit card, I didn't understand. Like, I thought that's how you do it, right? Isn't that how America was built? It's all on leveraging like some sort of credit and then somehow catapulting. Like, no, if you're building that much debt, what does it say? Is it a vision without solvency is a delusion, or I call it like the bigger the debt you're creating, then no matter how big this castle is you're building, you're just building a bigger meteor that's coming towards it. Wow. It's like 29%, 80% interest. Like, how much interest? How big is this flaming meteor coming to hit your empire that you're building on insolvency? And it's true. There are plenty of businesses that build on whatever. And that's fine. I just know for myself that I was like just like I'm saddling this horse, and I'm trying to gallop away from a meteor of debt that was coming after me. I'm like, there was no way I was going to escape it, so I had to stop and go, okay, a day at a time, just pay it. Like, really being present with where I'm at financially, where I am physically, where I am emotionally, and navigating from that place with gentle self-acceptance. Like, it was hard to look at my numbers and go, wow. I just thought, well, I met RuPaul at the gym. I gave him a postcard for my show. I have to pay all these musicians. I have to pay these sound engineers. Because then when RuPaul comes, he'll be my friend and my life will change, right? Because I wasn't happy with who I am now. And I've learned, like, no matter what happens, if I'm not happy with exactly where I am, imperfectly where I am right now, then no amount of achievement, no amount of money is going to bring me that joy. It's not going to fill that hole. And the energy I'm embodying is going to attract more of that. Even if I attract more money, it's going to be never enough money. And I'm never going to feel okay. I mean, I had a client who was a multi-billionaire. And I remember one time he was trying to tell me, hey, I'm just going to stay home tonight. I'm not going to go out. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? Why do you need to justify to me? You are in this one of your many mansions, and you're trying to explain and, like, rationalize why you're going to stay home instead of go to some red carpet event and hang out with these supermodels and have all these, all these crazy things he would do. And I really felt for him, like, oh my God, if you gave me $1 million, I'll show you how to be happy.
Right.
I will show you. I'll give me two. Okay, give me 3.5 million, and I'll show you how to really do it. I don't even need your whole. I don't need this penthouse. I don't need any of your servants. Just give me, okay, even like $500,000. I mean, I had this whole thing in my head, but it's really an inside job. It's really. I mean, I went out to the Philippines and I visited my family, my relatives. Like, oh my God, I felt. I mean, the shaming my parents did. Like, I heard my parents like, "You are spoiled." I mean, I am spoiled. I am a spoiled American. They don't even have running water. They don't even have, like, electricity. They have, like, a little rice hut. And these cousins are happy. They're playing hide and go seek. They're giggling. They're not worrying about going viral. They're not worrying about their body fat. They're just playing hiding. They're hiding behind the banana tree grove. And they're having the best time. I'm like, oh my God, what happened to me? Where did my ability for joy go?
Yeah, it's
right?
that simplicity, not needing the next shiny object. It's like, get off the treadmill, get off the hamster wheel, and start just, like, being present. And that's what meditation also is super great for, just to be present in the moment and to look around and to stop trying to get somewhere or get something. And just like you said, be gentle with ourselves, love ourselves. Is there anything in particular that you found helped fill your cup up to like love yourself?
Well, I did do. I'm trying to think. There's so many things I've done. But really, the ability to sit with the empty. When I opened for Louie Anderson in Las Vegas. I was like, "This is it. This is the moment. I'm gonna do it." I mean, I'm like, I'm being spiritual. I'm gonna surrender this. I'm really grateful. But inside, I'm like, "Oh my God, everything's gonna happen now. This is it, right?" And I remember getting there, and, like, I was so nervous. I lost my voice the week before I was gonna get there, and I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, this is getting happening to me. This is my big moment, right? Like, I need my voice. I can't do sign language stand-up comedy, right? And I remember, like, the day before or 2 days before I was going to fly out to Vegas, I started crying. I said, I'm afraid I'm going to screw this up. I'm afraid. And when I finally said that, my voice opened, it returned. Like, because I said the truth. Like, if I don't say the truth, my body is going to do everything till I say the truth, right?
Wow.
It was like shooting flares. It was inflaming my throat.
Why do you think that happened? I'm curious. Like, what was going on so that your body said, "Hey, I'm not going to let you get your power back until you are willing to, like, come clean or share the truth or whatever that was saying." Or
I think I was so invested in something outside of me, and my body's like, "Come back. Where are you going?
Wow.
Come back into your body. Be here, right?" And it's funny. I was out in the green room after one of the shows with Louie, and I wanted to thank him. I was like, oh my God, I'm so thankful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm like, I'm ready to, like, throw myself and supplicate. And he's like, okay, hold on. I'm just going to do a little meditation. I'll be right out. And I'm like, what? Oh, well, let's go. And I wanted to know, like, what do you do? What do you do in the green room? What happens? What's the big, master doing? And, he actually, I mean, the gist of what he gave me, this, like, meditation thing, it was, like, a lot of information, but the gist of the meditation that he gave, because, like, he goes off on, like, a golf cart to the millions of fans and everyone's swarming him and photos and videos and, people dancing by the window and getting photos. It was crazy. It was great. It was really beautiful to see, like, his success and how people just embraced him. And he said, the basic gist of it was like, yeah. And then when this is done, I go back to my hotel room, and the emptiness is waiting for me. Can you sit, no matter, and something in the meditation was basically, no matter how many things you achieve, no matter how righteous or whatever you think, at the end of the day, the emptiness is waiting. Can you sit with the emptiness and be something about being okay with the emptiness? And I thought, I just came to Las Vegas for my life to change, and this is not what I signed up for. But I was so thankful, because I'm like, oh my God, it was like Lord of the Rings. I run to the thing, I'm going to throw the ring into the volcano, and then the volcano is going to. No, I just threw the ring into the volcano, and then everything disappeared. It was just like a white screen. And I'm like, oh, so this is all drama I've created. And this whole time, can I just be with myself? Because and it's like layers and layers of that sink in over time. Like I was the first part of the first same-sex couples to be married. I was the first same-sex couple to be married in the state of New Jersey. Big deal, huge event. I fought for it, went, did all this stuff. And then we were also the first same-sex couple to be legally divorced. Like I've had the full journey of marriage equality. And I know, sitting alone in my new apartment, single, like really has been a practice of like, wow, I was with someone, with a beautiful husband that I love for 14 years. Wow. And we were like the couple that that went viral in the New York Times or wherever. And we were in the talk show circuit. And because we were speaking about creating equality, and that everyone deserves all rights and protections. And part of the rights and protections are equitable distribution of marital assets. And so here it is. Yep. And I just sat here thinking, wow, I had all this story of like, this is how it was going to go, last happily ever after, because I achieved these things, including like marriage equality and a marriage with someone that I loved. And sitting alone, single, and sitting in the emptiness, like, and being, I got to do this whole celibate thing. I had to turn off all my apps, all the cruising app, everything. And like turning all those things off, sitting with myself and being like fully abstinent with other people and myself, just to be alone in the emptiness. Because you can pick up food, you can pick up sex, you can watch TV, you can get really busy with work or a project, or write, do a million shows and disappear. I mean, I've done that. I don't know, like 51 shows in 2 weeks, like some crazy number, right? And I had some callback for NBC. Like, this is all going to be the, and like, no, I went to do the callback, and then I didn't get the extra callback, and now what? Now you're just empty. Sit with it. Just sit. And I sat, I tried dating someone new. Like, I'm not ready to do this. I'm trying to shove everything into the emptiness. But sitting with the emptiness, and 30 days later, 60 days later, I mean, I was sweating bullets the first couple of days going, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I feel like I'm just having a glass of water and 1 grain of rice every day. Like, it just felt emotionally like completely austere. But coming through that, it's like, wow, I have a relationship with just me. Like, if I can have a relationship with myself that doesn't require, 10,000 likes or a viral thing or, $1 million TV. I'm still open to multi-million-dollar TV deals and all these other wonderful achievements and experiences in life, because I'm here to taste, touch, feel, and experiment and express and all those things. But if I can't sit here in the center and be okay, then everything else is coming from that. Like, it's like if the wheels on the car aren't aligned, that's a really bumpy ride. And when you get to 80 to 100 miles an hour, I don't want to be in that car. And I feel there are times when my life starts speeding up. Like, oh my God, what's going on? Okay, I got to stop the car a second. What's happening? Oh, I don't believe I deserve. Oh my God, I don't think I'm worthy enough. Oh my God, I have to prove something. Oh my God, I'm not really lovable. So what's going to happen if I get this? I'm not going to be able to enjoy it because I don't deserve. Like, all these, like, seeing the stories I've told myself. When you sit with yourself, when you sit in the silence, when you sit with the emptiness, I saw all the stories I'm carrying around that say you don't really deserve, or you're a failure. And being able to transform that, you can't do it if you're high or shoving food in your mouth. Or I used to just do vegan cookies. I just did vegan cookies. Well, they're vegan, they're organic. I don't know why I can't sleep now, but because it's vegan chocolate chip. That's a lot of caffeine, But really, being with myself, and I do my men's work and do my meditation and do my writing. But really, the emptiness, no matter what work you're doing, no matter what modality you're doing, if you can't sit in that emptiness, then you can't shift. Because being in the emptiness, now I see like, oh God, I really wanted my dad to love me. Oh wow, I was really trying to get that person to see me. Oh my God, I need someone to see me. And I realized, what is it I want from these people that I'm not giving to myself?
Ah.
I need to love myself. I need to see myself. I need to validate myself. Like, I've slow danced with myself many times now, and I love it. But it's really affirming that I take care of myself. Because if I'm looking for someone to rescue me, or if I'm looking to rescue someone else, like I've done that too. Like I look for emotional Home Depot kind of like fixer-uppers. Like, this guy's got great bones, but it's like a big Victorian. Like, it's a 5-bedroom with great detail, but it floods every Saturday night with vodka. Like, that's a good fixer-upper. I'll just bail it out every Sunday morning. Like, I'm always either saving someone or wanting someone to save me. And that's what I grew up with that from my parents, from such, poverty. But like, seeing myself as a whole person, like sitting in the emptiness, because that gives me space for wonderment and possibility, because I'm not distracted. And then when it's clear, like, I put all these things on my vision board. I put like New York Times, all these things happen. Like, I got Netflix, New York Times, BuzzFeed, USA Today, and they all happened so relatively quickly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because I was chasing them, that they presented them. I mean, I also had to write these op-eds. I didn't my hands didn't weren't possessed by some drone force. But there's a co-collaboration with the universe when I'm in alignment with who I really am. I mean, I could certainly white knuckle and go out there and go, get, blah, 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 and there's a time for that, right? There are times I need to hustle. Yeah. But if I'm in a place that's grounded, that's allowing, like if inside I can allow and be present, that's a whole other space of generative energy than go kill it. Because I'm on fire. When I'm out there, I'm on fire. When I'm on stage, it's like you can't be like, okay, everyone, thank you for being here. I'm just going to sit here and allow the comedy to happen. I mean, there's a part inside that needs to do that, be grounded and present, so that I can like let whatever comes through me come through. I still need to pay attention to those drunk people in the front that are like getting crazy. I can't be like, hi, I'm going to just witness you. No, I need to do some crowd control. You got to do a little your comedy, webbing, your Spider-Man superpower stuff with these people to pull it together. Yeah. It's a balance. But
what would you say has been one of the biggest gifts that you've gotten from being able to speak on stage and do those comedy shows?
I guess the biggest, like, I had this one show. I was subbing for Marion Groden, who's Charles Grodin's daughter, and I was like honored to cover for her, right? And I get to this venue, and the guy that's opening for me is like getting the whole audience to like do this homophobic, transphobic, racist, misogynistic song. And they're all clapping and singing along, and I'm like, what is going on? It's like 200 people, like the musical Mamma Mia by the Ku Klux Klan. Right. And I'm like, what am I doing here? And I'm looking, there's the fire escape here, and there's the other fire exit in case this doesn't go well. And like, I'm literally like, my body is like shaking, and I'm like, okay, just get inside my body, find the emptiness. Cause I'm like, I know about the emptiness, but I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling like I got to pull the fire alarm at any minute, because this is terrifying. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, my car is parked near that fire exit. I just need to know, in case this goes horrifically, right? And I've never had a situation where but this is a situation where I'm like, I am feeling fear. I mean, just to be honest, I am terrified, and but I also know, and I love this, one of my mentors always said, Rich, whenever you perform as if there's no one else that's coming. You're it. There's no firemen coming. There's no cops coming. It's you, and you're going to put out the fire alone. Because then I'm forced to call upon everything that I know and call upon things that I don't even know, right? And have that willingness. So I remember just getting up there, and I grabbed the microphone, and the wire pops out, and it was almost like the whole audience was like, ah! And I felt like that substitute teacher that's about to be, set on fire. But I just put the microphone back in, and it was like I called upon, like, I don't know, Thor's hammer. And I'm like, let's do this. And I said, hey, guys, I speak English. Surprise. And they're all laughing. And I said, wow, like, this place is so white. Like, even the dishwashers are white. I mean, I'm it. And they were laughing because it was a very like racially charged space.
Right.
And I just went like from table 1 to table 2. I won them all over. And as I'm going along, like they don't even know I'm gay. They just think I'm brown. They don't even know if I'm Asian or what. They don't know what's happening. They don't know if I have to take their order or bust their table. They don't even know, right? But I'm just pounding along and I'm really working it. It's like this is not like a gentle comedy. No. This is like I'm going. Yep. But inside I'm like, okay, just watch, observe, breathe. But like you're going, it's like I'm at the net. There's no bouncing with the ball. Like just poach, pound. And at one point, someone just yells out, "He's cute!" And one woman says, "He's got a ring." And I'm like, "Honey, after 2 more drinks, you're not gonna remember the ring." And I just I was like really going after them. Right. He's like, "Whoa!" I'm like, they have no idea, right? So I come out at some point, like after I've won them over. They're like, "What?" And they're like in shock. And then at one point, someone yells out, "We love you!" I'm like, "Who are these people? 20 minutes ago, you would have lynched me, and now you love me?" And I just. Fought. It was great. It was such a great. But that moment, like I won them over, and when I left, people were following me, like, "Hey!" And they would never met someone like me, right? They'd never seen a brown person, much a queer person. I'm in the middle of this relatively rural area, and I'm being really kind, right? Because I'm so scared that I'm not going to get past those Confederate flags to my car to get home, right? But they come over and be like, "Hey, you are funny." For a faggot. They're just trying to be nice, and they walk away. They want their friends to see that they liked me. Like all these different people try to they're kind of stepping out of their box to say hi and then leave. Right? They're trying to be cool about it, but they know that it's not cool to talk to me, but they loved me. And I felt because that gift, that moment was I saw in that moment, the most powerful thing you can be is to be yourself authentically with no apologies. Because that is so it's so engaging. They could not, despite their own prejudices, they could not deny that I was on fire and they connected. And it's because I was being a real human being, fully alive. And that's undeniably engaging and funny. And in this situation, I was saying the truth. I was completely honest about what was happening. I wasn't in denial that this is awkward, this is racially and sexually and all these things that are happening. Or horrifically uncomfortable. They didn't know there was going to be a person of color showing up after they just did this horrific song about, gay people and people of color and women. And, it was crazy. And then I come out to them. So they were like, "Oh, shit." Yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, that's the power of owning your truth. And that also comes from, if I hadn't been doing my spiritual work, I think I would have gotten up there and just I don't know, passed out or panicked or attacked the audience. Because I've seen comics lose it. I've seen talented comics who are amazingly talented, and they lose their they get their goat. I'm trying to think of a PG-13 way of saying lose their stuff on stage. And it's oh my God, he's amazing. He's bombing in front of 2,000 people on tape. And they have to reshoot it, and he's still bombing because he's so mad. He's not even being attacked. He's just in his head, the cue was wrong. And, okay, cut, do it again. And I watch this guy in front of thousands of people. I'm like, oh, he's got to just sit with that silence. Just sit with yourself. It's okay. No one taught him to tap his heart and say, "I'm lovable," even though this didn't work out. I'm lovable. That's another thing. Tapping, emotional freedom technique, tapping, that. I see all these athletes doing it before they run or before they do a match. Or I've seen other comics that are on TV, they're out backstage and they're tapping and they're doing these body power poses. I'm totally open your heart, release it, stay open and present, because your channel is there if you just give yourself simple little techniques to stay present. I wanted to go up and just tap him. Okay, just breathe. You're lovable. Now take 3. You're lovable. Take 3. But
This is great. I love this. Would you recommend anyone or everyone jumps on a improv stage and tries it at least once, faces that fear? A stand-up comedy night?
I think every comic would tell me to shut up and stop encouraging people to get on an open mic or an improv class, because there's enough people that are really living their dream. Yeah. We don't need people recreationally going and saying, "Hey guys, so two women walk into a bar," but for me, holistically, anything that gets you out of your comfort zone in a safe way. I'm not saying go stand on the edge of a cliff and jump, but emotionally getting in an open mic, going to a poetry mic, taking an improv class. There are lots of corporations that hire improv people just to do consulting, just to loosen up their energy. You don't have to become a star. You don't even have to be funny. my want, and I'm sure the comedy community will now blacklist me. Just go to an open mic and try it, just so you've done it, and so you've put it on your bucket list and you did it, and something inside of you will change. It might not be the most positive experience for you, but it doesn't matter. Like the thing I've learned, and of course, I'm always like checking and rewatching and rewriting, because it's like you're just slow. You're like the mollusk, or you're building this pearl, this irritant of like this joke almost works, and you're building this. Oh, it's working! You're building this incredible gem, right? Wow. But it's from the irritation. It's from that longing to, there's something in here, and you're on that. I mean, there's no comic that's out there that's not on some sort of quest. There's some craving. I mean, and I'm damaged. I don't know anyone that would get on stage begging for strangers to love them without some sort of damage to their soul. Like it's just part of it. I mean, we all have different ways. Some people go out and become some corporate leader and tries to like make billions of dollars. I get on stage in front of people and try to get a drunk person to see me, right? But something will happen for anyone who stands up and takes a risk. Yeah. And you have to do that. Just do it. It's great. Do it. And don't be a jerk about it. Don't go up there all wasted and waste. If you're going to get on stage, be real and respect the art. Respect that there are people that are really working to make something. Don't just go up and go, hey. I mean, yeah, it's great. It's great. I mean, I want to support you in your journey, but come on. I'd be the guy in the back that would like, pull your mic, pull the light on you. Because I'm like, come on. There are other guys here that are sweating, that have been putting their time in. So respect it. If you're going to go do it, respect it. Respect the stage time. And respect that there are people, that this is an art. It's not just for you. I mean, it's for you and your journey, but understand that there's a community of people and they're all here creating something for themselves. But yes, take a class, take a stand-up class, take an improv class, and go to live comedy, support live comedy, be part of it. We don't have to be Whitney Houston. We can go see a concert. We can all do karaoke. It doesn't matter. But you have permission. Like the number one thing is sit in the emptiness and have permission to want, have permission to feel, have permission to have desire, and have permission to allow yourself that full spectrum of like the joy and the pain. Like I didn't know I could have pain. I didn't know it was okay to cry. I didn't know it was okay to feel sad. Like my dad would just beat me and then he'd be like, I'll give you something to cry about, because he wanted me to be perfect, right? And to succeed. And then here I am in my men's group crying. And now I'm on the cover of New York Times, not once, but twice. It's like that photo became like one of the best photos of 2018 in New York Times, right? It's like Lady Gaga, Bette Midler, and then there's me crying, in the lap of all these. What? But I feel like it's a cosmic, like, I want to say it's like universe has a sense of humor. Like the thing my dad told me I should not do, I did, and it got me the New York Times, right? So it's like really reclaiming my authentic self. It's been shown to me in many ways. And that's only one tiny piece of like the momentum of my life when I've allowed myself to be authentically myself.
Yeah, so powerful. And what would you say has been the impact of the brotherhood that you've created in the Mankind Project, and like being more connected to men in that aspect?
For me as a gay man in New York City, I don't have access to straight men it's the story I have, or I've set myself up for. I don't have access to straight men in an intimate encounter like I can have here, I don't know how many straight men have intimate contact with each other, in terms of being able to share their feelings, right? Because you're basically like, dude, it was awesome. We killed it, crushed it. Yeah, and that's it. Or so-and-so was a dick. That was it. And he couldn't say like, I was sad, or I wish I could be connected to my friend, but he was being a jerk, or I'm divorcing from my wife and I feel sad. I can't tell anyone I feel sad. Yeah. Right. Or just like gay men and straight men. This is the thing amazing. It'll be a circle of men of different ages, races, body types, sexualities, political backgrounds. Like we're all from we can be from very different political beliefs and religious beliefs. But underneath all that, it's like we're two human beings that want to be seen, that want to be heard, that want to be loved, that want to feel empowered, that also want to know they don't have to be perfect in front of other men.
So it's like getting that freedom, remembering what really the relationship is all about, what you and other people, other men, other women, and being able to share what's true, your authentic voice, your authentic self. Like sounds like it was really liberating for you that no matter who you're with, you know that you can just be you and connect with them and be real with them.
Right. I mean, this is like the reason BuzzFeed came and did an article, and the New York Times came to articles because of the Me Too movement and what's happening with women. And, like in Mankind Project, it's all about integrity and accountability, like men being accountable for their actions, being accountable for their words. How do they show up in the world? How do they treat women? How do they treat other men? Like how we treat other people comes from whether we're in alignment with ourselves and whether we can be, a lot of times men are acting out and abusing their power because they don't know how to be vulnerable or they don't have permission. They haven't had permission themselves. Society doesn't allow a man to show weakness. So he's got to step on somebody or they'll be inappropriate with a woman or another man just to show power. And I can't say it's every situation, but the paradigm of toxic masculinity is so prevalent that we don't even know that we're participating in it. I'm a gay man and I still don't even know I'm doing it. Like I have to catch myself when I do it with other gay men. We have a whole like masculine acting, straight acting only, which is so toxic because like we're not allowed to just be ourselves. And we're gay men and we still can't be gay men because you have to be some heteronormative ideal. Imagine the straight man who has to be straight, ride a jackhammer, set everything on fire, eat rocks and not feel anything other than like how are you supposed to function? You're like you're stuck in a vice. And how do you function in that way in a healthy? You're a human being with a full range of emotions, and you're a straight man like, it's cool, dude, I'm awesome. And then really, you're always awesome. You don't ever feel sad. Really? That's like that's why people get heart disease and high blood pressure and cancer. Because because people, my mom, I remember she was never allowed to like be taken. We lived in a very patriarchal environment. So she was a doctor. She ran a clinic. She did all this stuff. She had to go rescue and deliver babies and still feed us and clean the house. Like that's crazy. Wow. Until she was hospitalized she had these tumors, these cysts. And we finally said, oh, well, I guess we should pitch in. Like we really need to be like all together as opposed to like your job is to take care of all the men. Like it was crazy. I mean, I didn't even know that was wrong. I grew up, that was what you did. And then we realized, oh my God, mom's a person, and she needs help. And what are we doing? We're just laying around, letting her do all this work. I mean, my dad would give us chores, but she was still carrying the brunt of it, of everything in the house. So it wasn't until that moment like, oh, can we show up too? I mean, it's just layer upon layer upon layer of toxic masculinity that we don't even know. We're just all living in it. It's just, it's because nothing else is modeled.
Also, what I heard is that like it took pain or like a real hit to your heart or to you who yourself as your family culture to finally like wake up and say, hey, I want to actually help out. I see that she's suffering. I see that her health is deteriorated. I see that there's like a literal cost and impact of our lack of contribution or actions to help her. How do we avoid getting to that point of pain or impact or cost before we make a decision to like, hey, I want to better my life. I want to improve this area. How do we not have to go through the pain and the suffering and instead choose now and have that decision stick and move forward with this?
Well, I think also there were so many assumptions. I mean, there's going to be all these assumptions. I still assume that gravity applies to all of us and that we can't levitate. Like, that's like a huge quantum leap of belief, right? That's like way over, like I can levitate. I could be multi-dimensional and exist here and in California. I mean, that's a big leap in terms of group conscious belief, like the momentum of group conscious belief, thought forms that we've agreed upon. But there's other things we just notice, like, oh, maybe I could listen and pay attention to what other people are feeling, or maybe I could check in with other people and say, what do you want? What's your opinion? Like in any dynamic, sometimes it's just as simple as like, well, what do you want? Like people are like, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. And then no one really gets to exchange. Like having an authentic exchange, you might actually find out what someone really wants. So you don't have this built up resentment or built up someone's going to do the thing that they do because they want to please you, they don't want to upset you, and you don't want to say anything because I'm afraid that if I say something, I might lose this relationship. I might not continue the way I want. So we're going to do this covert agreement where we don't talk about it. And you do the things you don't want to do, but I want to talk about it, and I'll do the things I want to do, but I'm not going to talk about it. And then what happens? You build. I mean, it's such a simple principle of like, well, talk. And maybe people don't know that exists. That's such a simple like. But even in a dynamic in an office, when there's someone who's like the superior, and then there's there's different tiers. How do you invite people to contribute? How do you create a space where people can contribute openly? Because there's always whether it's male, female, or just in terms of power dynamics of who's making the money and who's reporting to who.
Right.
Like, but in any intimate relationship, there's even that dynamic. So it's really paying attention to like, oh, well, who asked who out? Or I don't know, is this going to work? Or we've been friends for so long, I don't want to say anything because it's like, oh, it's okay. I mean, I hate when you're late, but I don't want to talk about that. It's whatever. You're always late. Like rather than saying, hey, you were late again, and can you at least give me a heads up? You're going to be late, so I'm not sitting here waiting for you half an hour. And so simple stuff like that. Really holding someone accountable, and then someone being willing to be held accountable. And then also, like, are you willing to have that kind of relationship with someone? And it's not, how many toxic relationships do I continue to perpetuate, right? Like, am I going to, because I have to clean up with myself, right? You always say, well, how can we create better relationships? Like, well, I need a better relationship with myself because that reflects into how I relate with other people.
Totally.
Right? Am I accountable? Am I willing to own when I'm late? That's a real simple one, but that's a real, like, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, sorry, yeah, but story. I was late, trains, whatever. Like, okay, I was late. I chose to do these things.
Yeah.
I chose to do, and that's such a simple act of integrity of calling yourself out. It will change it. It changes the dynamic because then I'm responsible. Yeah. If I could be responsible for every little simple action, that will feed everything else I do.
Yeah. So powerful, man. I love this, Rich. So as far as like moving forward in the next couple of years, what do you see being your greatest contribution to the people around you and humanity as a whole?
Well, as a comedian, it's just so much fun to come in and call stuff out wherever I am, whether it's in a show or hosting an event, or if I'm doing a keynote. What I love with a keynote is like, keynote gives me a broad space to do a lot of things that, you're paying me to inspire you, but I can go really deep. I can also be really light and funny, but there's a great alloy of combining those two I love. I mean, my comedy is transformative, but I'm doing it, with a 2-drink minimum on a Saturday night, with people that may or may not remember everything, right? But I get to do it in places where people may never see a person of color or a queer person or whatever. I get to do it in places that have never seen a pride parade, right? Not that I'm just a gay comic. I'm a comic who happens to be gay, but boy, that is a huge, like a glitter grenade in some places. They're like, what? How are you getting here? What? But I get to be that for this moment, to them see a human being that exists in that realm. And so there's just something powerfully transformative of me being in a place where I might be the only person who's openly gay to them. They may know people, but in their area, they're not going to be out. I mean, I've seen them. I've met them after shows. Like, don't tell anyone, but I work at the auto shop. And blah, 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 blah. Come by sometime. Like, okay. And you're like, okay, you've got like a NASCAR jacket and 2 teeth, and you're cruising me. Like, I didn't know. Like, there's a whole, like, I have this whole story in my head that all gay people look the same. Like, no, gay people look like everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone, so my contribution is building these bridges in these places that may not know. I also do the work I do in the places that do now. Like, I love to be in Asian cultural groups or LGBT groups or, every place I go, I bring the nutrients that are needed.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm writing this pilot now. I've got this animated thing I'm working on. There's all these other projects. I just love that these things are coming through that are so satisfying. And I'm clear. Like, I'm so clear that I'm not even worried about them. Like, these projects are happening. And it's great to feel connected to like a larger momentum like that. My legacy will be the messages I've left, the art I've created, the laughter, the shifting, the little like these little glitter bombs of laughter that like are actually seeds and they're actual nutrients.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can sneak it in with a laugh in a way that you couldn't by like holding a protesting sign. I mean, there's important to do all sorts of ways of bringing the message out. But this is my skill set. This is such a great way to do it.
Do you think everyone, I know everyone is a generalization, but most people, it would be wise for them to invest in developing their comedy skills, their humor skills, being able to laugh, being able to make other people laugh. Is that, would you say, like one of the most valuable tool sets or skill sets that someone could have?
I think humor is a place where you connect with other people in a place that they're not expecting. That's how people feel seen. if you can, because that's what's great. When the room laughs, then everyone collectively got it.
Yeah.
So my sense of humor, or anyone developing their own sense of humor, is just another way to connect to someone. But you don't want to do it like, you got to be aware, like there's a way to be toxic and tease and demean someone. You're not going to build a bridge with that. You're going to get laughs at their expense. And so inside, you're not going to build a connection. They'll be like, oh God, here comes Joe from accounting with that damn knock joke that's so annoying. And it's like, stop already. We've all seen that guy or that girl or whatever.
Yeah.
That's doing the inappropriate joke that's not bringing us together. So it's really, if you're going to be funny, make sure you're coming from a place of connection and not diminishment. Because I've been there. I've been that. I remember saying things that got the room to laugh, but then that person was destroyed, and like that relationship was destroyed. And I think of that. There's this person in one of my classes that was like not part of the inside group, and she made some little comment like to me, and I made some snarky comment back that was so fun. It was brilliant. I mean, I have a superpower, but I didn't use the power for good. I used the power for the dark side, and it ruined her. She was never part of the group. And I don't know her name. I just remember she had this. I made fun of what she was wearing. I remember what she was wearing, and I made fun of it. And it was awful. I mean, I went to a fashion school where there's a lot of shade being thrown, so it wasn't like I was the only one. But it doesn't matter if I was the only one. I was participating in toxic gay masculinity or toxic, shade throwing where people would just it's FIT is like, RuPaul Drag Race University. It's like Olympic, level 5-star black label shade. You want someone to cut you, till you're paralyzed and you will never show your face in public. Come to this school and someone's going to read you. And I'm like, you better get your reading skills up because it's like laser sharp. There's no military weapon that will survive the shade of a bunch of catty queens ready to cut you because they've all been wounded. There's a bunch of wounded queens that are now in this school, and they're all empowered because now they're making money, they're living their dream, and I'm going to tear everyone else up in my way. It's another toxic masculinity. It's all the hate that we swallowed, and now it's our venom.
Yeah.
The only thing more homophobic than some of these rural areas is a gay bar or a grinder, because you will see venom. You want to see self-loathing, the hatred that was put on us, put on ourselves. Try cruising. Oh my God! Wow! I would rather hang out in a place where people are openly homophobic than someone who's going to stab me in the back. Oof. It's hard. It's hard. It's work. The work is inside because I have to heal that in myself so that no matter where it's coming from, I can be present and go, okay, I can still love these people or maybe just accept them. I don't have to like them. But it's not about me. We're all carrying wounds. We're all carrying these like stuff that's put on us. I don't know I'm carrying it. That's why sitting in the silence is like, oh, that's not about me. Wow, this person's being really mean. Ugh. I remember someone's throwing shade at me at a party. I said, you are more beautiful than you realize. And he looked at me like, who are you? I just cut you. And I said, you are much more powerful than you think. And he looked at me like I was out of my mind. But I thought, if you're going to slash at me, my slashing back isn't going to, then we're just going to one up and one up, one up. I just affirmed him and he didn't know what to do with it. And I just thought, but you are. I see it. You're just scared.
Love it. I love it. Awesome. Awesome, man. This is gold. So our audience is loving this. They want to know how they can stay connected. What are the next steps to continue their journey with you, Rich?
You can go to my website, richkiamco.com. That's RICHKIA, M as in Mark, C as in Charlie, O.com. They can always see it at your site. They can just link to it. We There Yet, WTY podcast is also linked on my site. I interview comics and other performers and just people I meet that are interesting. You can catch me there. I have my Instagram. It's still Rich Kiamco. Follow me. It's happening. It's great. And I'd love to have you be on board with my journey.
Awesome. Rich, you're an amazing human being. Thank you so much for really developing your heart, clearing away, processing all that trauma that you went through, your life gifts, and being able to integrate that into who you are and share that with audiences, inspire them, and also all the amazing messages you're getting out in the world, man. Really, really proud of you, and keep up the amazing creation, man.
Oh, thanks so much, Chris. I love you. Oh, it's awesome to be here with you.
Thank you, brother.
Okay.
See you soon, okay?
Bye.